AI generating art, yeah, that's everywhere these days. I get it.
Right.
But get this. What if I told you AI might also experience something like, a human neurological disorder?
That's interesting.
We're talking about this connection between cutting edge AI and this condition called constructive apraxia.
Yeah, so in the simplest terms, it's when people have a really tough time with spatial reasoning.
Okay, like what does that look like?
So imagine uh, having trouble drawing or like putting things together, and it's not because you can't see properly, but it's like your brain's just not processing that spatial information right.
Oh, wow. So their spatial sense is just kind of off.
Exactly, yeah.
And the wild thing is researchers are seeing hints of this in advanced AI, which is kind of what we're going to be diving into
Yeah,
today.
absolutely.
We're looking at a research paper by David and Samantha Noever, and they put 25 different AI models to the test.
Wow.
We're talking big names, GPT-4 Vision, DALL-E 3, Midjourney V5, like they're all
A
here.
whole gang's here.
Exactly.
That's a comprehensive study.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
Well, they use this test, and it's pretty straightforward. You probably heard of it. It's the Ponzo illusion.
Okay. The Ponzo illusion. Yeah, those two lines
Yeah.
that are the same length, but
Now, they look totally different
exactly because of the background.
because it's like a road going off in the distance or something like that.
Exactly.
It's like those pictures where you see someone pretending to hold up the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Right. It messes with your perception.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's just how our brains work.
And doctors actually use this illusion to help diagnose constructive apraxia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They'll ask patients to copy it, just draw what they see.
Okay.
And people with this condition often, well, they struggle to draw the lines the same length.
So they'll draw it how their brain is seeing it.
They draw what they see. Tricked by the whole perspective thing.
Wow. So they basically asked these AI models to become artists for the day and recreate the Ponzo illusion.
In a way.
Yeah.
They told the AI to draw those two horizontal lines against a background, just like that classic Ponzo setup.
Okay.
And you'd think, two straight lines? How hard could it be?
Right. That's like AI 101.
Exactly.
No.
But here's the thing. A bunch of these AI models, even the really sophisticated ones, they messed it up.
No way.
Yeah. Instead of drawing the lines straight across, they tilted them. Like those lines were trying to follow the perspective of the background.
Oh, wow. So they made the same mistake as, like, a person would.
They mimic those errors you see in humans with constructive apraxia. It's really strange.
That is wild. So, okay, if it was just like one or two AIs that messed up, you might just be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But they saw this across multiple different systems.
That's right. It's a pattern here.
So what's going on? There's got to be something bigger at play here, right?
Yeah, and there's this great anecdote in the paper, actually, about ChatGPT-4.
Okay.
They quote the AI, like trying to explain its mistake. Right. And it says, the errors made in my previous drawing attempts were a result of interpreting the pattern's complexity and translating that into a visual form. My ability to correct these mistakes is based on refining instructions and trying different approaches rather than innate problem-solving abilities.
So it's like the AI is trying to get out of trouble.
Yeah, like it's making excuses for a bad grade.
Right. My dog ate my homework, but it's the AI version.
Exactly. Makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, but the Ponzo illusion, that was just the start for these researchers,
Oh,
right?
yeah, just the beginning. They had a whole bunch of spatial reasoning tests lined up.
Like what? Give me an example.
All right, picture this. A series of diamonds,
Okay.
all interlocking this super intricate pattern.
Okay. I'm trying to picture that.
It's in figure 3 of the paper if you want to see it.
Okay.
But like the kind of thing that would give a pro artist a headache trying to draw freehand.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And they asked the AI to replicate it.
No way.
Yeah, like a visual jigsaw puzzle.
Um,
And guess what? Even the AIs that could make those crazy photorealistic pictures,
yeah.
they tripped up. Same inconsistencies you see with people who have spatial reasoning difficulties.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. So we've got AIs messing up illusions. They're getting tangled up in diamond patterns.
Right.
This isn't just like a few misplaced pixels here. There's a pattern emerging here.
Exactly. This is about something much more fundamental.
Okay.
The research, it suggests that there's this gap between how these systems understand spatial relationships compared to us humans.
So they don't quite get it the way that we do.
It's like they haven't quite grasped the basic rules of space yet.
Interesting. So it's not that the AI is incapable of learning spatial reasoning, it's that maybe we just haven't figured out how to teach it properly yet.
You got it. And, all those massive data sets that are used to train AI, they're great for getting AI to recognize, objects and patterns. But when it comes to actually understanding, like, the underlying rules of geometry and spatial relationships, they might not be cutting it.
So it's like showing someone a million pictures of chairs but not actually explaining what makes a chair.
Exactly.
Like they might be able to pick out a chair in a lineup, but could they actually build one from scratch? Probably not.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's the thing with AI right now. It's learning by example, but those examples, they might be missing a crucial piece of the puzzle when it comes to this whole spatial reasoning thing.
Okay, this is pretty huge. But I got to ask, like, why should we care?
Right.
Like, we've gone really deep on AI making these mistakes, which is super interesting, don't get me wrong, but what's the takeaway for our listener at home? What's the so what here?
Well, for starters, this could be huge for developing better AI.
Okay.
Imagine AI that really truly gets spatial relationships.
Okay.
We're talking AI that can design these super intricate structures, plan complex routes, maybe even assist in surgery.
Wow.
And all with this level of spatial awareness that rivals our own.
Okay, so no more AI designed furniture that doesn't actually fit in your house.
Exactly.
Or like self-driving cars that can't parallel park.
No more of that later.
Okay, I'm into it.
But it goes even deeper than that.
Okay.
Think about what this means for understanding our own brain.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking about comparing how AI stumbles, where it makes mistakes, to how humans with conditions like constructive apraxia, how they experience the world.
Oh, that's so cool. It's like holding up a mirror to our own cognition.
Exactly.
That's wild. So it seems like there's this incredible opportunity to understand ourselves better by studying the limitations of AI. But did the researchers have any concrete explanations for why AI struggles with something like spatial reasoning, which seems so natural to us?
Yeah, they pointed to a few key factors, and we've touched on one of the big ones already. Those massive data sets used to train AI.
Right, yeah.
So it turns out, while they're really good at teaching AI to like recognize objects, patterns, that sort of thing, they might not be as effective when it comes to conveying the fundamental rules of geometry and spatial relationships.
So it's not so much that AI can't learn spatial reasoning, it's more like we haven't really figured out the best way to teach it yet.
Exactly. And the researchers seem to think that by understanding these limitations, it could actually pave the way for developing new training methods that do a better job of incorporating these spatial principles.
So instead of just focusing on pattern recognition, we need to go deeper and help AI understand those underlying spatial relationships.
Right, exactly.
Man, the possibilities are huge if we can crack the code on that. But for now, it's still pretty fascinating that we're seeing these parallels between AI bumping up against these cognitive limitations and what we observe in humans.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the nature of intelligence in general, doesn't it?
It really does.
Both artificial and our own. Like, are there some fundamental principles that govern how any intelligent system, whether it's neurons or lines of code, interacts with and understands the world around it?
Such a great question.
Okay.
But okay, to wrap things up for our listeners who've been with us on this deep dive into AI and neurological conditions, what would you say are the key takeaways here?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that we've uncovered this really surprising and potentially groundbreaking link between cutting-edge AI and this human neurological disorder, constructive apraxia.
Yeah.
And by exploring this connection, we're not only opening up some exciting new avenues for AI development, but we're also gaining this whole new perspective on the complexities of the human brain.
It's amazing how these kinds of unexpected discoveries can really challenge our understanding of intelligence, artificial, and our own. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive. If you're interested in diving even deeper into this research on AI and constructive apraxia, we've got links to the original paper and some other resources in our show notes, so be sure to check those out. And until next time, keep those brains buzzing.